Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. We got a ton of requests to do one on resilience.
Yes.
So let's do it. We've got your sources on Angela Duckworth's research on grit and also the incredible story of Malala Yousafzai.
This is going to be fascinating because we're getting two totally different perspectives on it.
Right.
The science behind it and also what it looks like when it's put into action.
Totally. So the sources define resilience basically as bouncing back from setbacks, but I feel like there's more to it.
There's so much more to it.
Than just kind of like springing back up.
Yeah, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.
Right.
Because of challenges. And that's where Duckworth's work on grit comes in.
Oh, yeah.
She sees resilience as like the foundation for grit.
Okay.
Which is that combination of passion and perseverance you need for long-term goals.
Got it. So resilience keeps you in the game.
Yes.
And then grit is what helps you win it.
Exactly. Think about it.
Yeah.
Without resilience, every setback could completely derail you.
Oh, for sure.
But if you have that resilience, you can keep your focus and energy going toward what you want to achieve.
That makes a lot of sense. What I find fascinating is that Duckworth says that resilience isn't just something you're born with.
Right.
It's a skill you can build.
Yes.
So even if you don't feel super resilient now, you can actually train your brain
You can
to be better at it.
You know, it's one of the most empowering things about her research. She points to things like developing a growth mindset, having a strong support system, and viewing challenges as learning opportunities.
Well, break that down for me. What exactly is a growth mindset?
A growth mindset is believing that your abilities aren't fixed. Like instead of saying, I'm bad at math, you say, I haven't mastered this math concept yet, but I can with effort.
Oh.
So it's about seeing the potential to grow and learn, even from your mistakes.
I love that. So instead of getting discouraged,
you
use the challenges to push yourself further.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then a support system is really crucial because it provides that safety net when you're trying new things.
Totally.
So knowing you have people in your corner to encourage you and offer advice can make a huge difference.
It can make all the difference. In one of the sources, there's a story about this student who was totally bombing her classes.
Oh, wow.
But she refused to give up. She started working really hard, asking for help, and actually went from barely passing to getting top marks.
That's amazing.
It's a serious resilience glow up.
It really is. It shows that resilience isn't about just enduring hardship, but it's about taking action and figuring out how to overcome it. And this student wasn't superhuman.
Yeah.
She just kept trying different approaches.
Until something worked.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, so if I want to start building my own resilience, where do I even begin?
Duckworth says to start small.
Okay.
Don't try to tackle your biggest fear right away. Pick something manageable, like sticking to a new workout routine for a week.
Okay.
And that small win actually rewires your brain to handle challenges better over time.
Interesting. So it's like training for a marathon.
Yes.
You wouldn't just jump into running 26 miles.
You wouldn't
have gradually build up to it.
You got to build up to it. And speaking of incredible examples of resilience, let's shift gears and talk about Malala Yousafzai. Her story is remarkable.
Okay, so from rewiring our brains with tiny wins to surviving a horrific attack and then becoming a global advocate for girls' education.
That's right.
It seems like Malala's definition of resilience is on another level.
It's extraordinary, but what's striking is that even in the face of such immense adversity, her core message actually aligns with Duckworth's findings.
Really?
It's about the power of choice, the unwavering hope, and the refusal to give up.
Wow.
It's incredible.
I mean, it's almost hard to even fathom, right? We're talking about like starting small, like committing to a daily walk, and then there's Malala facing threats to her life to fight for education.
It's incredible.
It's both inspiring, but it also makes you wonder, how is that level of resilience even possible?
It really is remarkable. But when you look at the sources on her, you see some common threads. Just like Duckworth emphasizes a growth mindset.
Okay.
Malala talks about viewing setbacks not as defeats, but as opportunities to learn and adapt.
So it's not about not getting knocked down.
Right.
It's about how you get back up.
It's about how you get back up.
And maybe even figure out how to dodge that punch next time.
Exactly.
Wow.
And both Duckworth and Malala highlight the importance of having a strong sense of purpose.
Okay.
For Duckworth, it's about those long-term goals fueled by passion.
Right.
And for Malala, it's about her dedication to girls' education, a cause bigger than herself.
That makes me think about all the times I've given up on something because it felt too hard.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't have that driving why behind it.
It's a common experience.
Right.
Having a clear purpose fuels that fire, that grit to push through challenges.
Yeah. Totally. When you really believe in what you're doing,
Yes.
it's so much easier to pick yourself up after a setback.
Absolutely. So purpose is key.
Yeah.
But Duckworth also talked about support systems.
Right.
We see how vital that was for Malala, especially her father's unwavering belief in her.
Yeah, and it makes me think, what makes a support system?
That's a great question.
It's truly supportive.
It's not just about people cheering you on,
right,
but those who offer honest feedback, even if it's tough to hear.
Yeah.
And who will be there for the tough times.
So quality over quantity.
Exactly.
A few solid people who challenge you to grow are better than a ton of people who just tell you what you want to hear.
Absolutely. Those are the people who help you see your blind spots.
Yes.
Who push you outside of your comfort zone.
Totally.
And remind you of your strengths when you're doubting yourself.
All right, so we've talked a lot about resilience in the face of external challenges.
We have.
Like the attack that Malala survived or hitting a roadblock in your career. Well, what about those internal battles? Well, that's interesting.
Those moments of self-doubt.
Yeah.
The negative thoughts that can really hold us back.
That's such an insightful question. And it's where the concept of resilience takes on a whole new dimension.
Yeah.
We can apply those same principles of a growth mindset
and
support systems to our internal world as well.
So instead of just bouncing back from a bad day at work,
right,
it's also about bouncing back from like a spiral of negative self-talk.
Exactly. Internal resilience is about recognizing those thoughts and feelings, but not letting them control us.
Okay.
It's about developing tools to manage those inner critics.
Right.
And cultivating self-compassion.
So it's about building that mental toughness.
Yes.
But it's not about ignoring negative emotions.
Yeah.
It's about learning how to navigate them.
Exactly. And just like with external challenges, having that strong support system can be crucial.
Yeah.
Those are the people who can offer a different perspective when you're stuck in your own head. That makes sense. This is making me rethink how I approach those moments when I'm feeling down on myself.
That's great.
Maybe instead of beating myself up, I need to channel some of that Malala energy and choose to focus on my strengths and my purpose.
That's the essence of internal resilience.
Yeah.
Recognizing we all have those inner critics.
We do.
Those voices of doubt and fear, but we don't have to let them dictate our actions.
So instead of letting those thoughts define us,
yes,
we can choose to challenge them and reframe them in a more positive light.
Yes. And that's where practices like mindfulness and self-compassion can be incredibly helpful.
Oh, yeah.
They help us become more aware of those negative thought patterns.
Okay.
And give us the space to choose how we respond to them.
This is blowing my mind a little bit. Yeah. I'm realizing that resilience isn't just about overcoming hardship.
It's not.
It's about mastering our inner world, too.
That's such a key takeaway.
Yeah.
And it ties back beautifully to that idea of grit that we were discussing earlier. It's not just about pushing through external challenges, but also about having the grit to face those inner demons and not let them derail our progress.
This whole internal resilience thing is a game changer. It's like we've unlocked this secret level of resilience that we can tap into even when things are tough on the inside.
It's powerful.
But I feel like there's still more to uncover, right?
Yeah.
More practical tips and takeaways we can apply to our own lives.
Absolutely. There's so much more to explore, especially when it comes to putting these resilience principles into action.
Okay.
And that's exactly what we'll be diving into in the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been unpacking resilience, the science, the real-life example with Malala, and even that internal resilience that we need to handle those self-doubt gremlins. What really struck me is how resilience isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about how you navigate it.
It really is. It's not about pretending everything's perfect.
Right.
It's about acknowledging those difficult moments, learning from them, and figuring out how to move forward.
It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
But maybe a bit less dramatic.
Yeah, maybe a little less dramatic. But, you know, there's truth to it.
Yeah.
Those tough times can be catalysts for growth.
Yeah.
If we approach them the right way.
If we approach them the right way.
You learn new skills, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself, and it can solidify your sense of purpose.
Both Duckworth and Malala seem to emphasize that we have a choice.
Yes.
In how we react to challenges.
Absolutely.
Which I find really empowering.
It's that sense of agency.
Right.
We're not just passive bystanders in our own lives.
Right.
We can choose to see setbacks as opportunities.
Okay.
We can choose to lean on our support systems, and we can choose to cultivate a more resilient mindset.
So it's not just about what happens to us. It's about how we choose to think and feel about it.
Exactly. Our perception of events really shapes our entire experience.
Wow.
If we can reframe challenges in a more positive light, we shift from feeling overwhelmed to feeling empowered.
Okay, let's get real for a second. What about those times when you're in the thick of it?
Yeah.
Feeling totally overwhelmed.
Right.
Resilience can sound kind of impossible then.
Yeah.
What advice do we have for listeners who are struggling to find their footing?
First of all, it's important to acknowledge that you don't have to be on all the time.
Right.
It's okay to feel those difficult emotions.
Okay.
In fact, recognizing when you're struggling is a sign of self-awareness, not weakness.
So step one, give ourselves a break.
Yes.
Admit it's tough.
Exactly. Then we can tap into those resources we've been talking about.
Okay.
Remember your purpose, reach out to your support system, practice self-care, and focus on small, manageable steps.
It's about the small wins, right?
Yes.
Not trying to fix everything at once,
Yeah.
but taking things one step at a time to build momentum.
It all comes back to those small wins.
Yeah.
And remember, resilience is a journey, not a destination.
That's a good one.
There will be ups and downs, moments when you feel strong and others when you struggle. The key is to keep practicing those resilience-building skills. Learn from every experience and keep moving forward, even if it's one tiny step at a time.
This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening. I feel like I have a toolbox now for dealing with challenges in a totally different way.
I love that. It's been fantastic exploring this with you.
It's been great.
And with you, listener.
Yeah.
You have the power to navigate whatever life throws your way. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in your ability to bounce back.
Until next time, keep diving deep.